Today we celebrate the one, the only Saint Rita of Cascia. Saint John Paul II called her a disciple of the crucified one and an expert in suffering. She is known as the saint of the impossible and has become immensely popular throughout the centuries. She is invoked by people in all situations and stations of life, since she had embraced suffering with charity and wrongs with forgiveness in the many trials she experienced in her life as a wife, widow, a mother surviving the death of her children, and a nun. Born in Umbria, St. Rita was married at the age of 12 in 1386. A violent and intemperate man was her husband, who himself was murdered 18 years later, and she forgave his murderers, praying that her twin sons, who had sworn to avenge their father's death, may also forgive. She was granted this grace, and her sons, who died young, died reconciled to God. The saint heard the call to become a nun in the Augustinian convent at Cascia, but was refused entry at first. She asked the intercession of Saints Augustine, Mary Magdalene, and John the Baptist, and was finally allowed to enter the convent, where she lived the last 40 years of her life in prayer, mortification, and service to the people of Cascia. For the last 15 years of her life, she received a stigmata-like thorn wound in answer to her prayers to be more profoundly conformed to the passion of the Lord Jesus. Rita was bedridden for the last 4 years of her life, consuming almost nothing except for the Eucharist. She died of tuberculosis in 1456. On the 100th anniversary of her canonization in 2000, Pope John Paul II noted her remarkable qualities as a Christian woman. Rita interpreted well the feminine genius by living it intensely in both physical and spiritual motherhood. She was canonized in 1900 by Leo XIII. She is the patron saint of impossible causes, sterility, abuse victims, loneliness, marriage difficulties, parenthood, widows, the sick, bodily ills, and wounds. Now that's what you call a saint, Saint Rita of Cascia.